Hello and welcome to HitMic, where we love talking about the latest strategies, news, and insights from the world of healthcare marketing. I'm Colin Hung, and I'm sitting down today with Jon Cohen, Head of Corporate Marketing at Proscia, a company that provides digital pathology solutions to healthcare organizations. We're going to be talking about their experience bringing products and solutions to market. Jon, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Colin. Thanks for having me.
Before we dive into your go-to-market stuff, can you give our audience a brief overview about Proscia?
Yeah, absolutely. So Proscia we're a digital pathology software company. We're headquartered in Philadelphia, PA. We have operations across Canada and Europe. And in a nutshell, what we do is we build software for pathologists and scientists for companies in the life sciences and diagnostic laboratories. And what solutions we're bringing to market is really rooted in the challenges that pathology is facing. So for 150 years, pathology has not evolved much technologically speaking. It's still a microscope based. So digital pathology really is the process of digitizing glass slides of tissue using whole slide image scanners and then analyzing those images using an image viewers. Typically an image viewer is found through a computer monitor, so digital pathology. And our software and solutions that we've created are really designed and used for pathologists and scientists to do that, to be able to use digital pathology.
Gotcha. Now, the way I understand it, Jon, rather than sort of rushing into market with your solutions, you took a more methodical approach in terms of planning out your moves ahead of time. Why did you take that approach? And B, why was that important?
Well, it's taking methodical approach is in a rapidly advancing space is an interesting sort of way to look at it. But then there's people who are more on the hospital and diagnostic lab side of things in the clinical side that are very new to digital pathology still. Now, in my time and working in the space, and since we've been around, we've seen people's understanding and education of grow rapidly. So there's a lot of content out there. We're building that content, trying to create that thought leadership so that people know what it is that we do, not just us, but what the whole market is capable of doing. So a lot of education that's required to people to understand what does digitizing your laboratory really look like. It's a huge opportunity and it's a huge undertaking. There's no two ways around it. And immediate ROI is not fully visible, but those that are committed to it, they understand that this is where it's going for a number of reasons. So there's a lot of learning to do, which is why we take our time getting into it. So we have to learn about our fit, our product market fit, the segments we serve, our audiences, use cases, and ensuring that our product is really, commercially, available and ready is really important. And to do that, you need people. So methodical approach, is really requires people to do a lot of this work. So over the past, I'd say 18 months, and even more recently with our recent Series C fundraise, we've taken huge strides growing our teams across the commercial segments, product engineering, professional services, regulatory, business development. So these are all core areas of the business that have to be staffed and have to be ready to rock. They've got to be going. They have to go out and do, including marketing as well. So if we don't have this foundation in place, we really can't go to market effectively. So in a rapidly advancing space, going into market with the right team is just absolutely critical.
Would it be fair to say, Jon, that one of the benefits and outcomes of taking a more methodical approach and careful planning is that you're not wasting as much marketing dollars in areas that wouldn't have made sense for your audience or on things that wasn't going to resonate with them?
Yeah, I mean, you still have to do some experimentation because we just don't know enough about some of our audiences to really make laser focused decisions. In some cases, sure, we know where people are going to be, but as we uncover and understanding the buyer's journey and buying groups and how behaviors happen across segments, we have to understand those things, and then we can go into market and be more effective with our dollars. So we want to be as as smart as we can and as data driven as we can when we're strategizing and building plans out that can, hopefully tap somebody on the shoulder and say, listen, I understand what you're trying to do and we can help. Or I understand the problems that you're running into while you're trying to do to digitize your lab or to, develop the next breakthrough drug. We have to put ourselves in the shoes of these people and understand them as much as possible to be able to do that effectively. So that's where we're spending most of our marketing time, frankly, is really understanding that buyer's journey and building content and materials to suit.
Those are some great examples that you're giving us in terms of, putting yourself in your buyer's shoes and really understanding that journey. Can you maybe share with us a couple of other specific examples of some of the planning steps that you went through?
So in some specifics, in terms of so building up personas. So our personas that we've created are really helping getting to the heart of how we can help people do great work. Without persona development, I don't know how well we could arm our commercial team to be able to really understand, what are the things that these people care about, and understanding their job titles and job functions is really critical. There's some very, very specialized, work being done in research and development, for example, that we have to understand very well. We understand, I think the clinical market fairly well. I understand diagnostic laboratories and hospitals and health systems, but supporting life sciences research and development with ways that they can, really be far more efficient and be more collaborative, be able to connect people around the world working on important research can really collapse timelines for them in a measurable way. So understanding how those decisions are being made is vital for us. And then, from that information, we're able to build media plans, go to market strategies that create the right content that deliver to people at the right time. And when we're able to sub-segment and really understand what the different groups really need, then we can really offer them, more tailored type of content and solutions that will, move them through the funnel faster.
And John, if you don't mind me asking, because first of all, I love persona creation. It allows you to go deep and really understand an audience.
Mhm.
Can you? How did you do that? Like, did you spend a lot of time immersed in their and watching pathologists work? Did you go to a lot of conferences? Did you do all of the above kind of thing? What are
All
some
of
of
the
those things?
above, really all of the above. I think the hardest part sometimes is we have a lot of incredibly smart people who speak to our customers all the time and are able to really, understand, because what we do with them is pretty immersive in terms of, building out these technology ecosystems inside of their space. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hands-on work with them. Um, and in doing so, you get to understand what their challenges are. That you have to understand those, otherwise you can't tell us solutions for them. So that goes into it in a big way. So our customer success team, our professional services team, our product team, all very immersed in what our customers are doing. So that enables us to understand who's who inside of an
Mhm.
organization and what do they care about. So we lean on that a lot. And we do, secondary research as well. And there's a lot of really good information out there. I think the hard part is codifying it and getting people into a room and being able to, be critical of it. And let's make sure that we're saying the right thing to the right people and that we're not missing anything. So it's a really good process, and it does numbers for everything. And so, we see, great interest from across the organization in the persona work that we're building in marketing, because it's going to help drive development. It's going to help put everybody on the same page across the company as to who we're doing this for in the first place.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, I understand, John, that you collaborated with your marketing agency on this go-to-market planning. Studio North was your agency. In your opinion, why has that collaboration worked, and how did you make that collaboration work?
They're very patient with us. We're a startup, and they're patient with a fast growing company that doesn't always do it the right way, or the slow way. So I recognize, very much the value of being responsive and being able to, help us find our way as we are, moving between fundraising rounds and being able to, and adding people and serving a fast growing organization. So, kudos to them for that, just chief among them. But, one of the things that they've really helped with is that they're very professional and they understand business and they understand, what we're doing and what we're trying to do and ultimately how we're going to be measured and what we need to measure and the things that we need to do. So while they're helping me with building go-to-market plans and audience targeting, media outreach and media negotiations, and understanding really what our opportunities are and helping us make the most of the budget that we have is huge. It's incredibly helpful. So that's a really big part of it. And they've got great specialists across all disciplines, and we really do need them, because there's for all of those things, such from digital to media buying, pay-per-click, digital design and development, all of those things are, they've got great people that we work with on a day-to-day basis.
So it sounds like they were very patient with you. Right, right at the start, you said that they kind of worked. It sounds like they kind of worked at your pace, which was both fast and slow at sometimes. It seems like, or, you were
Yeah.
doing some other things like fundraising and so forth, and then when you were focused on the go to market, they were able to sort of run alongside you, quickly building those personas and things, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. They've kind of touched every area of our marketing business, for the most part. So, they've been a strong partner of ours since we brought them on, and it's a dense, fast moving, fast learning area. So, the more that we learn, and the more that it's incumbent upon me, and the rest of my team that works with them is constantly educating them on what's happening, and that's a lot of what we do is serve as a conduit for information about what's happening, not just in our company, but what's happening in our space. There was a recent article that I saw posted, and it was really a graphic that showed the digital pathology space by way of partnership. So it was it was companies' logos inset and showing connection points across this landscape of technology. It's very complicated, and there's a lot of people coupling up early in go-to-market strategies. We have strategic partners as well. One of ours is Siemens, and Siemens partners with us, and they OEM our software because it fills a pathology gap that they had in their own. So it's a fantastic opportunity for us to reach a global reach of hospitals and health systems. It's fantastic for us, and explaining and having a partner like Studio North that can understand what we're doing and how that works is great. And it also helps us understand how we can work with other companies and how we can have joint go-to-market activities. So yeah, it's a lot of learning, and it's a lot of constant understanding of what's happening. So they're game for it, which is great.
So John, can you share with us some of the success metrics that you're using to gauge how well or maybe not well your go-to-market is going?
Um, Sales qualified leads, SQLs is number one. That's where it's at. We're looking to accelerate, all the opportunities that we have in our pipeline and adding to our pipeline. So that's a huge, that's what we're really looking at is where we are in our pipeline and what we're doing to shorten our buying cycle as much as we can. Identifying segments that are more likely to close faster is always good, and then understanding where we can apply a more of a classic buyer's journey, approach to nurturing. And for those ones that take a longer time, there's more enterprise sized companies. So that's where we really focus on sales qualified leads. I like our odds a lot when we have opportunities in the funnel. I know what our numbers look like and how well we do when we're truly a vendor of choice. We have fantastic products, and I really feel strongly about that. And I think everybody at the company feels really strongly about that. So that's why getting opportunities into into our commercial team's hands is a good thing. I'll bet on that. So that's where we're investing.
I love that. Nothing like SQLs to make a marketer's day, and obviously make the sales team's day, right? When you get more SQLs, highly qualified, and getting through that those buying stages a lot quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a jungle afterwards, of course. I mean, there's there's a lot of, like I was saying, there's a lot of education that's required of our commercial team. They really do have to understand what's happening, and what the product can do and what it can't do yet. And they have to really, do quite a bit. So qualifying them for these leads for them is huge. And if we can do that, if we can get them into their hands, I feel strongly that they're able to to close deals, which is great. That's what they're here for.
Well, and you mentioned some of the proof in the pudding. I mean, you've gone through multiple rounds of successful funding. Your company's growing. You mentioned earlier that you're adding people to the team. So all of this must be working.
Yeah, I mean, so far, yeah, is it all working? Not everything's not working. Of course, things are always being worked on, but yeah, I mean, things are moving in the right direction for sure.
So, John, let me ask this. What's next for you in terms of your marketing and your go-to-market strategies?
Well, I mean, I think, it's interesting, our CEO, he often says things like, we're really just in the first couple of innings of this. And it is really true. This is an emerging market still. It used to be, I think the first big trade show I went to, I was working with Proscia, up on the agency side, and I was there, and just getting a feel for the market, getting a feel for the space. And multiple people had no idea really what digital pathology even was. And that was really just, not even 5 years ago. So now you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that doesn't know about it. There's initiatives at almost every place in some way, whether it's exploratory or something. So, that education of like, what is digital pathology, I think is now evolving, because what's next on for our is really for digital pathology to be just known as pathology, right? It's not digital radiology, it's radiology. So that's where we're going, is, having this be more and using that as an opportunity to not have to explain ourselves and what we do in this space so much. It's more about, let's explain how we can solve problems for you. So for where we're going next is being much more solutions focused, because we have great solutions backed by fantastic products. So I'm so excited about that. And just grow up from a marketing perspective. It's growing our pipeline. There's a lot of room to grow, partnerships to be made in digital and computational pathology. So AI is a huge opportunity for this space. That's the reason why, frankly, many labs are going digital, so they can use AI. But you can't really use AI in an effective, scalable way without a platform, and we have one. So that's exciting, and we have a huge opportunity to tell that story and to really let people know that we can be that launch pad for them, and that place where they do all of their fantastic work. So that's where we're going.
And John, where can people go to find out more information about Proscia?
Proscia.com. You can go to LinkedIn. So yeah, lots of good stuff out there.
Perfect. And it sounds like you've generated a lot of content. So definitely go to Proscia.com to go find and read some of that great stuff that you have up there.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for your time today. You shared a lot of wonderful information about your go-to-market for your solution. It sounds like you're doing an amazing job for your clients and for the company. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, if you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening and watching. Also, head on over to hitmic.com for accessing free resources, industry news, and insightful articles. You can also connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag HITMC. I'm Colin Hung, along with Jon Cohen. Thanks for being here.